Imagine this. You're 35 years old. You've been wed for 8 years. You're parked in your driveway after yet another 12-hour shift at work. You dread stepping foot inside your own home. Your spouse hasn't been intimate with you for months. Your children hardly notice you're there, and every chat spirals into an argument over something insignificant. You bust your butt to support this family, but somehow you're made to feel like an intruder in your own space. You wonder, how did things end up like this? I believed marriage would bring joy. I thought this was the picture of achievement. What if I said this situation isn't rare, it's standard? What if I explained that today's marriage system is deliberately built to shatter men's joy, deplete their finances, and strip away their leadership? And what if I suggested that the wisest move for a man in the current era is to steer clear of marriage altogether? Today, I'll uncover the harsh reality of why tying the knot is a bad bet for men in this century. I'll demonstrate how culture has turned marriage from a collaboration into a cage, and why guys dodging it are truly the sharpest around. This won't be easy to digest, particularly if you're hitched or eyeing the altar. But if you aim to safeguard your joy, your assets, and your mental health, you must grasp these facts. Those who dismiss this wind up separated, penniless, and shattered. Those who get it preserve their independence, their riches, and their serenity. Listen up, as this knowledge might spare you the gravest error imaginable. Let me begin with the core issue in contemporary marriage. It turns men into labor machines. This is an exaggeration. It's the fate of most married guys today. Here's the typical setup. You rise at 6 a.m., head to a job for 8 to 10 hours, return drained, and then must flip to domestic assistant role. You're supposed to tidy, prepare meals, wash clothes, assist with schoolwork, and manage all home repairs. Yet no dinner awaits you, no thanks for your toil, and zero say in family matters. You've basically turned into a resident servant in your residence. You're juggling 2 full-time gigs, one outside. One inside while getting none of the perks marriages once offered men. Consider this rationally. Historically, marriage was a team effort where each side contributed distinct worth. The guy supplied income and security, the woman offered home care and caregiving. Both were vital and honored, but today's version has erased the woman's duties while piling more on the man. You're still the main earner, but now also joint cleaner, joint caregiver, and emotional pillar. At the same time, your partner can chase her job, hobbies, and ambitions with no duty to reciprocate. This explains why countless married men feel worn out, undervalued, and bitter. They're not flawed individuals. They're folks duped into an inherently unjust setup. Here's a mental fact society overlooks. Men crave respect as much as air. It's not elective. It's embedded in male mindset. Without respect, a man starts breaking down emotionally, intellectually, and bodily. This drives men to strive in professions, seek wealth, prestige, and power. It's not greed. It's about gaining esteem from others and surroundings. But here's the bitter twist. The setup meant to grant men utmost respect marriage has turned into where they get the least. In standard modern unions, a man's views are brushed off, his choices challenged, and his leadership eroded constantly. He's handled like a kid needing oversight, not a teammate whose insight matters. Let me offer a specific instance. A guy logs 60 hours weekly to fund a comfortable house for his kin. He arrives home and proposes rethinking a big buy, only for his wife to sigh and claim he doesn't grasp family requirements. His years of wisdom and provider status mean zilch here. This pattern is so widespread that folks barely see it as rude. But picture treating your superior or a client this way, you'd be out the door fast, since respect is key to working bonds. Yet in matrimony, belittling your spouse is not only okay, but anticipated. Ladies are urged to challenge their partners, resist control, and decide independently. This all translates to disregard your husband at will. Contemporary culture has launched what I term the power erasure campaign, a targeted push to wipe out male dominance in homes. This isn't random. It's intentionally embedded via entertainment, schooling, and societal norms. Flip on any TV series or film, and the trope repeats. Dad's a clumsy fool, unfit for simple choices. Mom's the clever fixer of his blunders. This indoctrination is everywhere, unnoticed by most. The takeaway? Men are dumb, greedy, and inept for real home control. The lady must call shots on finances, kids, and home ops. But this overlooks. Power isn't tyranny, it's accountability. Stripping a man's power also strips his capacity to own family welfare. You're making him a bystander in his existence. This breeds a mental contradiction that wrecks men's psyche. They're accountable for family finances, but barred from financial calls. They're to guard kin, but can't set safety rules. Their household leader nominally sans real sway. This fuels why many wedded men feel powerless and irritated. They're liable for results they can't influence. It's akin to being named CEO, but forbidden from decisions. Logically speaking, modern marriage gives men zero upsides and huge downsides. Let's dissect the pros, cons. Companionship, available via casual dating. Steady intimacy, which data shows drops sharply post-wedding. Offspring, possible sans vows. Societal nods, fleeting at best. Half your wealth if it crumbles. Possible lifelong support payments, eroded home leadership, reduced closeness, heightened pressure and duties. Curbed liberty and options, risk of kid access loss and split. Objectively, what sane guy opts in? You're surrendering independence, clout, and maybe half your fortune for what? Classic marriage perks: homemade, exclusive intimacy. Steady society have been dismantled, while burdens and hazards balloon. It's like buying a vehicle minus motor guarantee and with endless bills. This accounts for dropping marriage stats among savvy, thriving men. They're not dodging ties, they're spotting a raw deal. A crushing element of today's unions is the epidemic of intimacy-free marriages. Data indicates 20 to 40% of pairs are basically celibate, coupling under 10 times yearly. Consider the mental toll on men. You pledge to one lady, forgoing others, then she slowly halts the intimacy that spurred your pledge. This transcends physical wants. It's about feeling wanted and cherished. When your partner ceases interest, it signals you're unappealing, undesired, unworthy. It's rejection striking male essence. But the vicious part, you're blocked from seeking elsewhere. You're locked in unmet needs, banned from alternatives. It's a verdict of frustrated intimacy and emotional dismissal. Many guys attempt fixes via talks, romance boosts, or therapy. But these seldom succeed, as the root isn't dialogue. It's marriage's framework, removing women's drive to sustain allure and input. With full safety and exit barriers for husbands, effort often fades. Why bother? They have security, status, support, sans upholding their side. Maybe the sneakiest facet is how deeply culture has ingrained acceptance of this flawed setup in both genders. This starts young and permeates all culture. Schools teach boys masculinity is harmful to curb leadership urges. Their informed respect-seeking is archaic, content serving unrecognized. Media bolsters by depicting classic manhood as evil, authority-wanting men as tyrants. Expecting spousal respect brands you domineering or sexist. The laws back this. Courts favor moms in custody, splits benefit women irrespective. Abuse rules presume male guilt. This brainwashing is so potent, most men miss the manipulation. They normalize disdain, regret, needs, feel bad wanting fair treatment. Outcome, a cohort of mentally neutered men. They settle for less, convinced demanding better vilifies them. A little-known mental fact. Ongoing disdain breeds real depression in men. Not mere blues, a grave condition risking suicide, dependency, aggression. Constant belittling shuts brains down. Motivation, vigor, optimism fade. Self-doubt creeps in. This mirrors severe depression. Thus, abuse stats mislead by stressing physical over mental ruin from disdain. A guy endlessly mocked, ignored, weakened by his spouse, endures abuse sans blows. The saddest, society not only overlooks but promotes this. Women learn husband disdain empowers, respect seekers are weak. But truth, disdain harms psyches deeply, spurs extremes, habits, violence. Demolishing a man's dignity is risky business. Hence, many wedded men cite gloom, worry, despair. They're not frail. They're people tormented in their abodes. Facing such disdainful, powerless unions, men react via fight, flight, or freeze. Fight. Some push for clout via clashes, demanding esteem, setting lines. This often flops as culture tags male power abusive. They land in court as bad guys. Flight. Others bolt, sometimes ditching kids and duties, labeled losers, but often escapees from torment. Freeze, most numb out, quit seeking esteem, endure. They become hollow, mimicking marriage while withering. None healthy, but expected in traps. Placing men's sands, power, esteem, easy out yields these. Tragically, culture faults men for allins, instead of the faulty system. Slammed for resisting, damned for fleeing, ridiculed for surrendering. No okay reaction exists. The aggravating bit, fix is straightforward, yet ignored. Pleasing a married man needs mere esteem and thanks. A lady could revamp her union instantly by seeking his input on choices, appreciating his work, speaking kindly, publicly, crediting family input, offering touch and desire. Not radical basic politeness, but so scarce now men are stunned when present. Why skipped? It demands valuing men, granting respect. But programming says husband respect is meek, deny male clout or role. Thus, instead of easy fixes benefiting all, we stick with misery-driving systems, repelling men from vows, ruining homes. A vivid sign of breakage. Many wedded guys get more esteem from outsiders than wives, from clerks to, indeed, dancers. Ponder the mind blow. A guy pays a dancer and gets warmer smiles, thanks positivity than from his life mate. The dancer values him, treats nicely, as she knows esteem aids exchange. The wife professes love, but acts worse than to strangers, assuming his loyalty. This irony exposes marriage's flaw. It kills women's motive for good treatment, while caging men sans options. Disrespectful unions' mental harm fuels a hidden male crisis. Midlife male suicides surge, many tied to wed woes and uselessness. Systematically eroding purpose, clout, worth primes depression, angst, self-harm thoughts. Once assured men turn ghosts, doubting value and role. Crisis worsens as men are deterred from aid or venting told to toughen, handle quietly while robbed of male strengths. Result: silent suffers self-medicating via booze, substances, harms. Not weak demolished by a supposed supportive system. Aside from mind and heart tolls, marriage risks finances hugely for men. Divorce often means 50% asset loss from union years, home to wife usually, hefty ongoing spousal aid, kid payments, despite shared care, pension investment splits. Often job hits from divorce strain. Meanwhile, they must fund ex's lifestyle while slashing theirs. Many post-split guys cram into tiny flats while bankrolling the old house they can't inhabit. Ruin so deep, recovery eludes. Lifetimes paying for failed ties, while exes advance, secure. This money peril alone dooms marriage for men. Paired with rest, it's illogical financially. A heartbreaking marriage side, kids weaponized against dads. Despite support and involvement desires, many split fathers get sidelined from key calls. Courts grant moms main custody, ignoring better parent. Dads turn occasional guests, funding upbringing. Setup spurs women to split, knowing kid control plus cash. Empowers manipulation via access threats. Mental hit on dads losing daily kid ties is crushing. They observe growth afar, impotent to shield or steer. Culture sets a no-win for men on marriage. Wed and flop. Faulted as poor spouse. Skip. Tagged fearer of duty. Pressure shoves unwilling guys into ties, yielding bad ends. Truth. Many unsuited for today's marriage demands. They'd thrive focusing work, interests, growth, sans marital strife. But culture denies marriage fits not all, especially now. Pushes men to women's serving setup that kills male joy and health. Unwed choosers aren't deprived. They're savvy, boosting joy and ability. Solo guys command their schedule and vigor fully, power to chase aims unhindered. Money liberty for self and tomorrow. Dating variety sans pledges. No half-asset divorce risk. Liberty to move, switch jobs, gamble. Tranquility from untrappable spots. Not shunning bonds, evading legal social snares while linking on terms. Many achievers find deep ties, passion, heart sans contracts. Enjoy female company while guarding self-rule and funds. Biologically, men aren't wired for strict monogamy marriage enforces. History shows top men with multiples. This urge lingers. Their marriage curbs instincts, binding to one often slack on allure. Breeds clash, cheats, splits, or eternal gloom. Guys aligning with biology over fighting it often fare better. Variety in romance sans monogamy jail. Economically, marriage ranks as man's poorest bet. ROI negative, peril huge, missed chances vast. Solo man funds career, learning, wellness, future, risks, ventures, riches, sans spousal veto. Wed cash on ceremonies, big pads, trips. Later lawyers instead invest appreciating. Energy on tough ties redirect to value building. History's peaks often unwed or late wed post-success. New marriage diverts from glory, not leads. Stark fact. Today's women aren't geared or keen on wife excellence. Taught to favor jobs, self-rule, self-growth over bonds and kin. Not blame Decades programming marriage as chains compete versus complement men. Outcome. Women's sans skills, attitude, drive for thriving unions. Often see marriage as security status grab, not value-add team. Expect male adaptation with minimal return beyond being there. Women grasping good marriage are scarce, snagged by early aware guys. Average dater today unlikely finds marriage worth partner. Weighing proof, mind costs, money perils, indoctrination, incentive void. Core inequity of contracts the verdict. Marriage loses for 21st century men. Once mutual benefit set up now, women favoring, eroding male joy, riches, liberty. Wise play, skip entirely, craft max potential life, sans legal ties, chains and threats. Not barring bonds affection, company of sans contract empowering life-ruining whims. Guys grasping and acting thrive today, freedom for aims, funds for future, calm for misery-proofing. Your call, cling to sold marriage myth. Or face reality, choose self-serving. Wise choosers self-thank forever. Ignorers pay dearly. Your existence, liberty, joy too precious for you gamble, side smart.